Hey guys, hope your Wednesday's going well. It's Corey and Jordan back to break down today's healthy three-game NBA slate. How you feeling about it, Jordan?
I'm feeling pretty good. I've done a lot of research today. We got two must-haves, Kevin Love and Ricky Rubio out of those games tonight, so pretty excited.
Yeah, we got a lot to look forward to tonight. We think we got some good plays, which will help us narrow down this boom slate for sure. We'll be covering the $1 jackpot for each individual game like we have been recently. So let's just dive into it. And for most points, we have Kevin Love, Bojan Bogdanovic, Miles Turner, and Larry Nance Jr. Who's your favorite here?
Obviously, Kevin Love, he's our must-have tonight. I think he shoots way better than he did last night. Or Sunday. I think he shot like 3 of 8, and I mean, 8 shots is even low for him. So I think he shoots more and makes more.
Yeah, I never go against our must-haves here, no matter what sport we're covering for Boom. He just got a ton of upside, you know. Bogdanovich, Turner, and Nance. I mean, I don't see any of them getting more than 12, 13 points max. Kevin Love can easily, outscore them in the first quarter. I kind of think this is a runaway. We can go Love here, right?
Yeah, for sure.
For most rebounds, we got LeBron, Sabonis, Miles Turner, and Larry Nance Jr. Are you in on LeBron, or do you have a sneaky play?
I'm all in on LeBron there too. I mean, Turner could potentially go off for some extra boards, but I don't think so. I think it's LeBron all the way.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Sabonis got in foul trouble real quick last game. A little worrisome. Not saying he's gonna do it again tonight, but just limits the upside, especially coming off the bench. Turner and Nance just don't get enough minutes for me to like it either. LeBron's gonna get a healthy, probably 42 to 44. Wouldn't surprise me there.
Yeah,
Um,
I
so
think they run their starters a lot tonight too. So I don't think Nance gets as much run as everyone thinks.
yeah, I mean, no way LeBron's letting him go down 2-0. The Cavs lost by 18. LeBron played 44 minutes last game. I think you got to pick LeBron and move on.
Yeah.
For most assists, we have Darren Collison, Victor Oladipo, Jordan Clarkson, and Kevin Love. What do you like here?
For me, it's definitely between Collison and Oladipo. I think Love just does more of the scoring tonight. I don't think he dishes the ball out as much. But if you're multi-entering, probably split between those two. Um, Probably Collison more just because we haven't projected for more, but that's a toss-up for me.
Yeah, I mean, this category is really interesting to me. One thing I noticed that the Pacers were doing in the first game was that they were letting Oladipo run a little bit of the point, and because they wanted to play Lance Stevenson a lot. So Collison still got a fair share of minutes, and he got 6 assists, whereas Oladipo got 4. But it could go any way tonight easily. So for those who multi-enter, I definitely recommend getting shares of each of those. For those who single-enter, I think Collison is going to be your safe pick and probably your most likely pick if we had to go that way. And then we got points for LeBron James. Let's see what you got. What do you get the first game? Do you know?
He had, I think he had 28. I think that's what they had him at.
Oh, 24. Okay, I have
20.
it up. All right. So he had 24 and 44 minutes, but it was a blowout. He's not going to let them go down 0-2. He's going to take us on his shoulders. Are you feeling an explosion game?
I was projecting about like 30, 32, 33 around there.
Yeah. I think he has a floor of 30 tonight, to be honest. Even if they do lose this game, I hope they do, honestly. But I really think that LeBron's going to put it on his shoulders, and he's probably going to get a triple-double, and he should get at least 30 points, especially if they do want to keep this game close.
Yeah, I think it'll be him and the Kevin Love show tonight.
Yeah, would absolutely love to see that.
Yeah.
For the Jazz Thunder game, we have most points between Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, Carmelo Anthony, and Rudy Gobert. We have a pretty good sense that Mitchell will be playing. Not sure if we'll have confirmation before lock, but I can't imagine that he lets his team do this without him. I'm guessing it's coming down to Paul George and Donovan Mitchell. Do we have a favorite?
That's what I had it between. I think George might go a little cold tonight. Maybe go Mitchell. I'd lean Mitchell for sure.
Yeah, playoff Paul George is just so hard to pick against. I don't want to
Yeah.
go wrong there. I'm kind of on the. I kind of want to go Paul George here just because maybe that injury does hamper him a little bit. Even if he's out there, he won't be full strength. That's why I think I'm going to go Paul George. But again, if you're multi-answering, you definitely want both of them there. For most rebounds, we got we got three centers basically, and Russell Westbrook with Rudy Gobert, Favors, and Steven Adams. Can Westbrook out rebound these centers?
I honestly think so. I think it's between Westbrook and Gobert, but I lean Westbrook. He's projected for, I think we have him for like 12 tonight, and that's over all of them. So
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how that works. Gobert only had 7 in the first game, but I mean Westbrook had 13 in 37 minutes. That's pretty good. If that game is closer than it ended up being, Westbrook's going to see some more minutes than that too. Steven Adams looked a little bit lazy, honestly,
yeah,
in the rebounding post. Something we were noticing with DFI. It just didn't look too good. And Favors, I don't see any way he gets this. So yeah, I'd pick the point guard over the big men and don't overthink it really.
yeah.
For most assists, Ricky Rubio, Joe Ingles, Donovan Mitchell, or Paul George. What you thinking?
I definitely don't think Rubio. I think Rubio's going to score a lot tonight. He put up, I think I said 18 shots in game one.
Wow.
Yeah, he put up 18 shots in game one. So I think he's going to do a lot more, do the same shooting with Mitchell, maybe hurt a little bit more, maybe dish it out to Rubio more, and same with Ingles. So it'll be for me, from Ingles and Mitchell.
Yeah, it's a bold call, but I see the merit. Rubio only had 5 assists last game. I mean, 18 shots is a ton. Not saying it's why the Jazz lost, but maybe it is.
He's like 5 of 18 too. So
Yeah, I mean Rubio's, not that great of a shooter, but this is a tough category. I mean, Ingles only had 1, and Ingles does the most of his work when Rubio's off the court. And then you got to hurt Donovan Mitchell here too. Let me see what Paul George put up last game assist wise. Do you have that in front of you?
yeah, he put up 0.
Okay, so we have 0, 1, 5, and what did Mitchell have?
Mitchell had 3.
3. So we have 0, 1, 5, and 3. To be honest, I think I'm just gonna go Rubio here because of how ugly this category is.
And
I don't have.
blame you there.
I really don't have statistical info to not go Rubio here, but I mean this is not pretty at all. And then we got Westbrook for total points. He had a pretty good game his first game against the Jazz. I think he had 28 or 29. I think
29. Yeah.
So what are you thinking for this one?
I'm probably thinking same range, maybe a little lower. Maybe I'd probably go 27 to 30. Maybe go up 1 point, but
Yeah, I think that's a fair estimate. I wrote an article earlier today, kind of like looking at the 3 stars, and I put him at about 24 to 28. I think he shot 25 field goal attempts in that game, which is just kind of absurd. Got to the line 9 times. I was looking at season-long averages against the Jazz. They weren't that high. I mean, the Jazz are a good defensive team. Paul George just went off last game. I think I've set him at a floor of about 24. But I can see I kind of like 24 to 28, but he can get in that 30 range for sure. The last game on tonight's slate is the 8 seed and the 1 seed. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves against the Houston Rockets, where most points between Jimmy Butler, Karl Anthony Towns, Chris Paul, and Eric Gordon. Karl Anthony Towns was kind of an afterthought in that first game. Do you think he responds with a huge one here, or how do you see this playing out?
I actually think that they use him a lot more. I think he definitely doesn't put up 8 again tonight. He definitely puts up more. But, I mean, he gets 42 minutes a game, and there's just no way he doesn't get used more again this game after losing such a close game that last one.
Yeah. I mean, if you looked at social media, if you watched Game Flow, I mean, everyone was just noticing the reason that while the game was close, the Timberwolves' offense was terrible. I mean, Rose had a usage over 30%. Jamal Crawford's was up there. Jimmy Butler had like no points. Towns obviously took nine shot attempts, I think. I think they're going to go into this one with a completely different mindset. Feed Towns the ball. He has incredible numbers against Clint Capella before that game 1. I like the upside here a lot. Don't think Chris Paul gets there. It would take a really hot night for Eric Gordon to get there. And I think Jimmy Butler can definitely outscore him. If I'm multi-entering, I do want Butler 1 or 2 times. But I think Towns is your optimal play. I think a lot of people might be scared there and get a little of an edge right there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. For most rebounds, we have Towns again, Clint Capella, Taj Gibson, and PJ Tucker. What stands out to you?
Capella, I like Capella a lot. He had, let's see, he had 12 last game, and then Towns had 12. So I think it'll be a battle back and forth between them. Really not looking at Taj Gibson or PJ Tucker,
Yeah.
but I think no matter what, you got a multi-enter on this one. It's just battle back and forth between those two.
Yeah, I think Jordan nailed it. I can't advise single entering this game. If you're playing, you absolutely have to get some of Towns and some of Capella, and the other two could be ignored. There's really no edge over the other. They both have great numbers against each other. They both are subpar defenders. There's just really nothing that sticks out there for us to recommend. For most assists, we have Chris Paul, Jeff Teague, Derrick Rose, and Eric Gordon. Derrick Rose is the obvious favorite, right?
If you want, I mean, he did get a lot of run actually last game, which was surprising to me. He had 24 minutes. Well, I just did not expect that at all, to be
No.
honest. But I mean, you probably go Chris Paul. He only had 4. Teague had 8, so he's probably your front runner. But he only had 29 minutes. So maybe if Rose gets hot, they keep him out there a little longer than Teague. Teague's cold, so it's kind of a up in the air there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if we assume that Towns is gonna have a good game, hopefully Teague's the one getting the ball into him.
True.
Is one correlation factor you can look at this. I mean, Chris Paul's probably your safe guy, but it's really another tough category. While Rose got a ton of run, first of all, Gordon's not going to get this category, so don't consider Gordon. But Rose is a pretty selfish player. Like he did have 4 assists last game, but that wasn't a lot of time. Usage rate was absurd. I think it's between Chris Paul and Jeff Teague. I would give Jeff Teague the slight edge here, but I think it's right between those two. And we have my second least favorite player to pick total points for, behind Anthony Davis, and that's James Harden. What do you get? 44 the first game?
Yeah, I think something around there.
Yeah, take your best guess here, man. I mean,
I mean, he could go anywhere from 30 to 50. I mean, down to 25. I mean, it's your guess is as good as mine, but I got him at like 31, 34, around there.
yeah. Again, like it's really hard to project this. Again, I wrote. Harden was also in the article I wrote today, breaking down the stars on tonight's contest. And one thing I really noticed for Harden in that first game was that, let's see if I can find it. He went 15 of 26 from the field and 7 of 12 from the 3-point line, which is absolutely absurd. I mean, yes, he's a terrific player, but I mean, that field goal percentage was 58% from like both areas, which is just, it's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
I think he's going to regress. I think like he had 10 of 20 shooting against Minnesota earlier this year for 34 points, 8 of 25 shooting for 31 points. I mean, he's going to get his 20 or so shots, but 44 is just, I mean, the 3-pointer was not missing. So I think, 30 to 34 is probably where you want to stick him. Wouldn't even hate if you went down to, say, upper 20s. Really wouldn't hate that at all.
The only issue with the upper 20s for me is that he just gets all the foul calls. I mean,
He does.
his free throws will just rack up at some point.
Yeah. I mean, James Harden, like I said, second hardest guy to project in my mind. But that'll do it for today's Boom Slate. We'll be working, Jordan and I, over in the DFIU War Room preparing for this NBA slate overall. Is there any last words you wanted to say about that before we head over?
No, but I just hope you guys win some money tonight. Good luck.
Yeah, definitely. That's always the goal. But good luck, guys. We'll be back again tomorrow, breaking down the playoff slate again, and we'll see you tomorrow.